Hi, everyone. I wanted to come in. I noticed something that one of the commentators I follow faithfully, because I do love her commentary, even though sometimes she says she doesn't want to say bad words in front of me. But she talked about how she looked at the statistics for food stamps and things like that, and how certain groups of people thought those things being depleted in a way would not affect them, even though their group were taking the higher percentage of usage in that SNAP and just assistance program. And I thought about a term that you hear all the time in Old Testament. You hear it all the time. And God even says this of people. They are stiff necked, just a stiff necked people. And I'm probably going to teach on this because we don't really delve into things. But when I heard this commentator, Tabitha, talking about in several posts that she put, how people just thought the hurt and the harm would come to Black people or people of color. And then the term stiff necked, that's a stiff necked way of being. So stiff necked, let's work this out. Work it out with Charlotte, Pastor Caldwell. Work it out with me. So stiff necked means a person or their behavior haughty and stubborn, a stiff necked people. Haughty or stubborn. So now let me tell you what I had to then go over. When you start dialing and peeling back the layers of what is this stiff-neckedness that we've seen for generations and generations that causes a people to vote and act in ways that is not for their well-being. Stiff-necked people. So I had looked up haughty because there is a text that says pride comes before destruction and haughtiness before a fall. Stay with me. Stay with me. Haughty means arrogantly superior and disdainful. You see I'm following where the Spirit is leading me on this. And we need to know what it is when we deal with a stiff-necked people. It doesn't matter how kind you are. You could go help their child and revive them back to life, all of those things, and they still think they are arrogantly superior to you. Stiff-necked. Then Spirit said, go ahead and look at disdain. The feeling that someone is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. All of that is found in being a stiff-necked person. Somehow, these reasons that make you stiff-necked, being haughty and having disdain for other people causes you to think you're superior. You know, I did a whole post about why I can't put up with white privilege anymore. And I'm looking, and this time, that stiff necked posture has gotten the whole country in trouble. In trouble in ways we would have never even fathomed. We would have trouble like this, that we would see the things we saw at the end of last week in the Oval Office. Haughty and stubborn. And there are those who still will not move. They will say, no, 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 that's my support. And they think all of these things that's being done, laying, hundreds upon hundreds, thousands of people off from their work, willing to take Medicaid benefits from people who have paid into a system their whole life. I know the people in my life who worked 40, 50 years. My one auntie worked for over 40 years in one of the plants in North Carolina and made furniture, and she had to walk on a cement floor. Her feet, the nerve endings in her feet were so damaged She said, just getting out of the bed and sitting her feet on the carpet was painful. So when you say entitlement programs, yes, she was entitled to every dime she got before she took flight to the higher heavens. She was entitled to every last bit of it because she paid her money into it. Her feet were her evidence that she had worked hard for it. Stiff-necked people, arrogantly superior. That's what we're dealing with. And some will not be moved. Now, we have seen a lot of people who are being moved. And I told you why that is happening. After all the African ancestors came to support and protect African descended children in this country, the Caucasian ancestors, they started coming forward. Excuse me, did they say a king? Did he say he's going to be a king? They said, not here. Not today, not anyway. No, no, no. We haven't done and we didn't do the things we did to leave that type of leadership to come here and be able to have a voice in who was our leader. For that leader to say, now I'm going to be king, there'll be no more voting. Oh, their ancestors came out from every corner of the universe. And when I think Tabitha was one of the ones that posted one of the first town hall meetings, that was one of the first things I heard. We have no kings, no king, not a king. My Caucasian brothers and sisters, they were 10 toes down in it. No king. And I said, their ancestors are getting through to them. Now, this stiff-neckedness, that's a whole other story. Yeah, I'm going to put that on my prayer list to talk with the Caucasian ancestors about that. Can you do something about that? You know, having a person, it's their behavior is haughty and stubborn, arrogantly superior, feeling that someone is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. And my little granddaddy, it was hard for him to break. He had been so socialized that if a white man or woman was coming down the sidewalk, he was to cross over to the other side. I saw him do it. And now my grandmother, her dad was a Baptist preacher and very prophetic. She didn't move. But the hurt and harm would have come to my grandfather if something had been said or a ruckus had been made. That somebody that was stiff-necked, haughty, and stubborn didn't even want a person of color to walk on the same sidewalk. That they probably were the ones that laid. That's what we're dealing with. Hear me. You want to know what this is? That in light of everything we say and we do, nobody's listening to the black woman. No one's listening to the black man. Now, come here. Let Charlotte Pastor Caldwell tell you something. Black people don't know everything, but we know more than you. We know the path of survival. We know that way to go that will bring good to everybody. And we generally follow that path. Do you remember, what was it, the movie The Help? And the mother was just so ugly to the daughter. It was the black woman that said, you are smart, you are kind, and you are impotent. She didn't know everything, but she knew more than that girl's mother, and she knew to encourage her. This is what we're dealing with. A stiff-necked people, haughty and stubborn, So if you wanted a prayer assignment, oh, I wish I knew one of the card readers personally. I would ask them to throw the cards or do the pendulum. Maybe if Grand Madame comes on tomorrow, I'll ask her. But what I'm sensing in my spirit, this is what we're dealing with. This is why we are in the state of being that we are in. We are dealing with a stiff-necked people that's haughty and stubborn, arrogantly superior. They have disdain. That means they feel like someone is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. And if they had put respect on it, they would have known there are better ways to do this. Now, let me say this. I was watching something, and this came in my spirit. Democrats need to hear this. Republicans aren't the only one who are tired of people coming from different countries and getting benefits that they didn't pay for. Don't you think that's a Republican issue? Don't you think it? After my auntie, my grandmother, my uncles worked hard, had health issues because of the hard work they did in plants in North Carolina. For someone just to come into the country for asylum or anything else and get college for free, food stamps for free, housing assistance for free. Republicans aren't the only one that feels some way about that. Democrats, you want to back it up now? Back it up. And start telling the people, we too want to stop those areas where foreigners are getting disability and things that they're not eligible for. I have shared with you more than once about a lady that had a mortgage with a bogus Social Security number. Did I want her put out of the country? No, I do not. But I want her to learn what every American knows, white, black, or indifferent. What we know as black people and white people, we worked hard for what we have. We have worked hard. We've worked doubly hard, having to maneuver systems that keep being set up as something extra to do that's really just to block you from having forward motion. Democrats, take notes. No, I don't think any of us would say remove people from the country or anything like that. But the American way is that you work hard. You earn. We have earned. We wouldn't be the highest educated group in the country if we had not worked hard. Again, I will say, black people, we don't know everything, but we know more than you. We've never made this type of mistake. If you find yourself in that group that may be stiff-necked, go ahead, do like I did. Start looking at those words and doing the etymology of them, backing them down, digging into even the definition of it. It's true. Pride comes before destruction and haughtiness before a fall. In that stiff-necked posture and way of being is pride and haughtiness. And it comes before a fall and destruction. The pride comes before destruction. Boom, we had the Civil War. Haughtiness before a fall. I believe what I'm hearing in the spirit realm, that we're going to be fine. We, after all, as a people, we've gotten through worse. We really have. But now, I can pray for people, but let me tell you what, you can't change people. People have to want to change themselves. It's kind of like we say about sometimes women say, well, when I marry him, a change. And baby, you got the same old joker you were dealing with before you married him. Yeah, I've had to deliver that news before too. Marriage doesn't change anyone. And money doesn't change anyone. Money magnifies what you already are. That's what we're dealing with in this space that we're watching. See, we're watching this space. And as I watched this space, I kept thinking, what is this? People will like a banner. I'm a Republican, but I don't agree with what's being done. I don't care. You're a human being. And seeing any human being treated less than because of should be a problem for you. But it's true. What Tabitha said, it was going to be okay if it was only done to Black people, the Latino community, the Palestinians, any other group of color. This was going to be okay. But now that this visit that we push for, it's affecting everybody. Take time. If you find yourself trying to understand what this is, we have lived among a group of people who are a stiff-necked people. They will try to do good for a little while and boom, they just can't help it. That haughty and stubbornness just comes up when they see that their kids are going to school with Black and brown kids, and now they're having lunch with them, and all of a sudden they're like, we've got to start charter schools and figure out how to get the taxes to pay for it. That's that haughty and stubbornness. You see laws passed so we can vote. Wait a minute. We can't let Black and brown people make the political decisions in this country. We can't have that. Hey, y'all know where Jim Crow is? Tell him to come here. That's what we're dealing with. But I want to leave you with some hope. I believe what I see in the spirit realm and what I hear the card readers and all the mystics talking about. The cure for what has been ailing those with the issue of being stiff-necked. Yeah, they bought it on themselves. It's kind of like today, I had to go pick up some things that I needed because unbeknownst to me, I had food or something that maybe wasn't as clean as it should have been. Yeah, I hate to even tell you this. And, I had my teeth cleaned back in late fall. And I had gum. I saw what's going on with my gums. And I was at the dentist yesterday, from about 10 o'clock in the morning till 3:30. I had to get all type of injections. He just stopped everything. He said, I've got to numb you and I'm going to, scrape and do all this stuff with the gums. It's bacteria. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I'll be eating out for a while. And I don't want to name any companies that someone might say, well, where did you eat? I don't know. It happens so fast and no one else in my family is affected, but my immune system, I'm always working on my immune system. I'm taking, the Echinacea because I told you all of a sudden I came out of Walmart and I had a mask on and my throat just felt like it was just going to start burning. And I said, what in the world? I had a mask on. And I make my own hand sanitizer. Let me tell you what. That hand sanitizer sometimes we buy from the store is worthless. I'll get some 90% proof alcohol and some aloe and put it in a little bottle and shake it up and it becomes very thick. That's my hand sanitizer. I know I'm getting alcohol on my hands. But sometimes, because I don't know where this came from, but I'm on 2 different antibiotics now, unexpectedly. See, all of a sudden, they don't know where this is coming from. They're like, whoa, what happened? Just like I was looking at my dentist going, you get ready to do what? I almost passed out. Literally, I almost passed out. When they do a deep cleaning and they're trying to remove what they think may be infection or something, ooh. But this morning, I was talking to the people with a smile. My girlfriend was like, oh my goodness. She said, your teeth and stuff look normal. I said, they do. I said, it was just the gums became inflamed and I didn't know why. So now I can say this, Everything's become inflamed, but we know why. The choices that were made. Even for me, somewhere along the way, I made a choice. I went into a store. Whatever hit me in that store was a part of weakening my immune system. Sure, I'm taking the C, the zinc, the echinacea, golden seal, all I'm taking all those things, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So you're going to the town halls, you're confronting your congressional reps. It's not enough. You're going to have to get in there and you're going to have to be the ones to pull this out for everyone. No more being stiff necked. Yeah, you're going to have to loosen it up, baby. I thought I would come by and share those thoughts with you. And I think I'm going to unpack this, do some further etymology on the words and different things. And I think I'm going to share this with the Wednesday class where we do sacred studies. Because sometimes we hear terms and things and we never get a full understanding. So after I started doing everything I did, I said, well, now God was saying this about the people, not the people about themselves. God was saying this is a stiff-necked generation. This is a stiff-necked group of people. I wonder if God's ever said that about me. I hope not. But I also further instructed on, well, I didn't instruct, but I was asking that people pray protective prayers. And I've said this before, and I told you there was a Vodun priest, and she said, "No, baby, you need to read Psalm 41." And I said, "Okay." The priestess is saying Psalms 41. I'm telling you 41 and 91. Psalms 41 and 91. Read it at least once a day if you can. And then I'll try to share as I get further information, as I begin to digest all it is to be stiff-necked, the haughty, the stubbornness, the arrogantly superior, the feeling that someone is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. I'm going to come and share it with you. And as always, I'm going to pray and meditate and see in the spirit what brings this on. It seems to be a type of spiritual, I don't know, infliction, or it's a spiritual way of being. It's not that their neck is stiff. It's a spiritual posture that people are taking. And all I would say, people who have taken this posture, and with everything that's going on, this is what my question I will raise. How is that working for you, beloved?